how's it going? I hope you're all doing well. I've been a little sick and I've been wanting to get some more videos out, but this is the first day I've actually been able to feel halfway decent. So we're gonna do gentle yoga, okay? So we're gonna start laying on our backs, just like we do in class. So we're gonna fold up this blanket and we're gonna lay back onto our back. And we'll let those arms come out to the side with the palms up. So you can lay here with your knees bent or your legs nice and long. Remember, you can put something underneath your head so your neck isn't in a strange position. So let's just lie here and we'll relax and we'll breathe and we'll inhale. Let's really fill that belly and expand those ribs. And then a nice long exhale, emptying everything out. So big inhale, and followed by that long, slow exhale. So let's just lie here, and we'll just breathe for a little bit, quiet the body. Bend those knees. And we'll just gently begin to rock those legs, just really, really easy from side to side. And we'll begin to turn our head in the opposite direction that the legs are going, just really small. You know, depending on you, you could make the movement bigger if you choose to. Kind of let your body guide the way. And then we'll roll over so we can pull our blanket out. We're gonna stay on our backs. So you can just put your blanket off to the side. You may want to use it again for underneath your knees. And then we're just gonna gently hug the legs in. Just gently hugging them in. And you can take a little rock from side to side. I hope you all can hear me. I can't talk really loud because I kind of lost my voice, but I'm just gonna do my best. We're gonna rock from side to side. Remember, if you have any sore areas, spend a little more time in that spot. And then we're gonna put both feet flat onto the floor. And we'll bring our arms at our sides, and on an inhale, we're gonna lift up, press into the feet, reach the arms back, and exhale down. So it's just a nice sweeping bridge. Stay with that breath. pressing into the feet, inhaling up, exhaling down. Feeling that spine lift away from your mat. Big breath. We're just going small right now. You don't have to get very high lifting those hips. And then we'll bring the knees in towards the chest again. Another little rock. And then we're going to put our hands on our knees. And all we're going to do is just push the legs away. We'll inhale when we do that, and then we'll exhale when we pull it back in. And inhale, push, and exhale, pull. So it's kind of a little belly massage here. Inhale, push, exhale, pull. Feels good. And you feel that back flatten when you pull it in. And then you feel it just arch when you push away. And then we'll do some egg beaters. So we're just going to make some big circles with our hands on our knees. So some nice big circles. The feet stay together. Just kind of getting the hips moving a little bit. And now we'll move in the other direction. So we got opposite direction. Take your arms out into a T. Palms are up. Both feet flat on the floor. Your feet are about hip width distance. We're going to drop the legs over to one side. So we're just going to do that twist again like we did before, but we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And then we're going to take it in the opposite direction. Turn your head from side to side. So your head's going in the opposite direction that your legs are going. Palms are up, so those shoulders are nice and wide. And then we're going to come back into the center here. So we're going to take our legs to a tabletop position. So we're going to bring the knees right above the hips. So we've got that little bit of curve in the low back area. Okay. So we're going to alternate. So we're just going to tap the toe and then bring it back. And then we're going to alternate in the other side. So this is keeping the abs really long. Okay, so what we're doing is we're bracing. I want you to brace the abdominal muscles here. Kind of, it sort of automatically happens, but we can add more brace to it. We don't want, we're going to keep the natural curve of the spine, so we're not going to flatten out the back into the mat. Okay, so we're holding on to that natural curve and just toe tapping, just nice and easy. Inhale, tap. Exhale, bring it back. So real easy. Now, we could stick with this movement right here, or we're going to take both feet, tap, and lift. Now, we're not taking it back here, okay? So it's just going to be right above the hips. So we inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. Now, we're trying to keep the same amount of space, so we're not letting ourselves really arch any more or any less. We're going to stick with that same movement. And it's a little harder. So inhale, tap, exhale, bring it back. Still bracing those abdominal muscles. Remember, it's like somebody's gonna come up and try to punch you in the belly, and you're just bracing those. They're just hard. Okay, just making the abs really hard. Inhale and exhale. We'll do 2 more. Inhale and exhale, and last one. And then bring it back. Hug the legs in again. We're going to take a little rock. And then we're just going to extend the legs up to the sky. Feel that nice stretch in your hamstrings in the back. And then we'll take the legs out into the splits. Just flex your feet here and then point up. And we'll bring them back together and flex out and point up. So you should feel a nice stretch when you go out into that splits in the inner thighs. So up and out. And we'll do, how about 2 more? We'll go out and up. And we'll do 1 more out and up. Now point your toes and then flex. So you're pulling your toes back, point, and you feel the front of the shins, and then you flex and you feel your calf muscles stretch. And point and flex. Now just keep your feet normal here and take them a little bit wider. We're going to do some ankle circles up here. So just making, and usually we may get a few cracks out of those ankles. And that's okay, as long as it doesn't hurt. And then hug it back in. And then we're going to extend. We'll extend a leg long, just nice and long. We're hugging that opposite leg in. Feel a nice stretch. See if you can get your calf down onto the floor with that extended leg. You feel a big stretch going all the way up that leg and that hip flexor. And then we'll switch. Nice and long. And then we'll hug it in again. And we'll take another rock because we can't have too many back massages, can we? It's the way I look at it. And then we'll roll over to one side. Excuse me, I'm going to try to keep the caffeine to a minimum. All right, and then we're going to sit upright, and we can sit on our blanket, especially if we have that tendency to, like, it's hard to sit up straight and you're rounded like this. So if you sit on a blanket, it'll help you have a straighter spine. Okay, so let's sit up like, plus it feels good on your tushy. Okay, so we can sit nice and tall. And we're gonna breathe up here. So let's take a big deep breath. And then I want you to feel like you're pressing your shoulders. Say you had a wall on each side of your shoulders, and you might, and feel like your shoulders are getting wider. Really big breath. Hear it. Okay, I want you to hear that breath in your head. Pull on those knees just a little bit to get you a little taller. Feel your shoulders widen. And then we're going to take some spinal circles. So we're going to take a nice big inhale, and then when we exhale, we're going to circle down and we'll come back up the other side. Nice big circles. And then we'll come back to the top and we'll go in the other direction. No matter where you go on this floor, there's a squeak. gonna squeeze. It's not my spine. And we'll do one more. And we'll come back up nice and tall again. So we're taking inhale, and when we exhale, we're just gonna round back. Okay, so that back round, so think cat-cow. And then we're gonna inhale, and we're gonna lift, okay, lifting that chest. Inhale, exhale, go back. Inhale, up. And exhale, back. Inhale, up. We're gonna do this 2 more times. Exhaling back. Inhaling up. And then 1 more time. Good job. Come back to the top. Okay, let's do a little neck movement. Okay, we're gonna take an inhale. When we exhale, let's drop our chin towards our chest. Inhale, your head level. Exhale, turn your head to the right. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, chin towards your chest. And inhale, your head level. Exhale, turn your head to the left. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, chin towards your chest. Inhale, your head level. Exhale, turn your head to the right. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, chin towards your chest. Inhale, your head level. Exhale, turn your head to the left. Now, inhale, back to the center. Your head's level here. And we're going to exhale, tip the left ear to the sky. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, tip right ear. And back to the center, left ear. And back to the center, right ear. And coming back to the center. Release your hands from your knees, couple shoulder rolls going back. Inhaling and exhaling. So think about yoga, it's all about breath. As long as you're moving and feeling and you're breathing, you're doing yoga. So we'll take an inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, hands to heart center. And then we'll inhale, sweep up, exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll inhale, sweep up, exhale, hands to heart center. And then we're gonna inhale, we're gonna sweep up, but we're gonna leave those hands apart. And then we're gonna take a little twist. Call this a yoga wave. And then we'll inhale, we're gonna come back up through the center. We're gonna go to the other side. And inhale, come back through the center, exhale down. And inhale, come up through the center, exhale, other side. We'll do that one more time, each side. So inhaling up and over. And again, inhaling up and over. And then we're just gonna come right back to the center. A couple more shoulder rolls, release the hands from the knees. And we're gonna inhale, sweep the arms up, release those index fingers, and we're just gonna bow side to side. So squeeze your ears, and we're just bowing side to side. Nice stretch. And then we'll release the hands. We're just gonna bring them onto the knees. We're gonna hinge from the hips, so we're gonna try to keep that back nice and long. Take an inhale, and then exhaling, hinging from the hips. Now you could bring your hands out front too if you choose to. And you can walk a little further. We're just gonna hinge from that whole hip area. you have grumpy knees, you can use your blanket, and maybe if it's too thick, you know, just unfold it a little bit. And I guess I should turn this way. Sorry, I have all my clothes on. It's really cold in here. I hope it's warm where you're at. And so we'll bring those wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Remember, if your wrists bother you, you could take your hands out front a little bit further so you don't have so much weight on them. And we'll do a few cat-cows. So we're gonna exhale cat. So think that upper back, okay? Inhale, cow. You're gonna lift that chest, okay? Exhale, cats. Inhale, cow. So just a little back bend. Exhale, cats. Inhale, cow. Do one more. Exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. And we'll come back into a child's pose. So we're just gonna sink back. You can rest your forehead on your mat, or you could put your forehead on your hands. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Nice big stretch. And then we'll walk our hands over to one side. So we're gonna take our hands over and we're gonna stack on top, one on top of the other. And then we'll go back through the center and we'll go to the opposite side. And we're gonna come back to the center and then we're just gonna rock back and forth. We're gonna come into a modified plank and then we're gonna come back into a child's. So we'll inhale in that modified plank and exhale child's. Just rocking back and forth. Just putting some weight on those hands. Remember, if you want to keep weight off of those hands a little bit more, you could take them out front. You could also put a blanket underneath your hands. Just a nice, easy movement here. And then we're going to come up into hands, more hands and knees, and we're going to make sure we have the wrists under the shoulders. I think I'll take my jacket off now. So, got wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips again. Okay. We're gonna wag our tails. So we're gonna bend a knee here, and we're gonna take that foot out and look over the shoulder at it, and then we'll come back through the center and we'll go to the other side. Okay. So we're just getting a really nice side stretch. Side to side. And then we'll come back to the center and we'll do that with the opposite leg. Look over the shoulder at that foot, bring it over to the other side. Stretching our side gills, otherwise known as the intercostals in between the ribs, kind of the meat between the ribs. And then we'll come back to the center and we'll come back into that nice child's pose again. Just relax. And we're going to come back to hands and knees. And we're going to go into a puppy dog pose. So we're going to walk the hands forward. And we're just going to rest the forehead on the mat. Okay, so this is quite a shoulder stretch here. So you could always bend your elbows. It's a little back bend. And then we'll come back up. And then we're gonna do some baby cobras. So we're gonna have our blanket nice and long, and we'll lay on our bellies, okay, on top of this blanket. Okay, so hands alongside of the chest. We're gonna roll the shoulders back, and we're gonna inhale, lifting. So remember, we're not pushing with those hands. We want to use the back muscles. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Remember that breath really helps you get lifted. So if you inhale, the belly pushes into that blanket. Exhale, lower. Do one more. And then we'll lower. Now take your hands and just put your forehead on top of your hands. So this helps kind of reset your back muscles, just relax. And plus it just feels good, right? Now we're going to do just a few little leg lifts here. So while we're in this position, we're just going to lift a leg up and lower it down. And then we'll lift the opposite leg up and lower it down. And we'll do that again. Lift and lower. And again, lift and lower. Now we're going to bring our arms along our sides. And just let your shoulders roll inward. Feel how they just kind of roll inward because you're on that blanket? And then what we're going to do is externally rotate those shoulders back. And then we're going to lift the upper body and we're going to lift the legs. And just reaching those arms back. So it's a nice locust pose. Really long in the spine. And then we'll lower down. We're going to do that one more time. Just let your body relax here. And then roll your shoulders away. Reach your hands back to your feet. Lift your legs. Just feel the whole back of your body working. And then lower down. Relax. Bring the hands out front, and we'll be on the forearms. We're just going to do a nice Sphinx pose. Okay, so feel like you don't want to be rolled inward like this. Okay, it's not good for those shoulders sinking down that shoulder socket. So I want you to feel like you're lifting, pressing your hands into your mat, your forearms. Nice lift, rolling those shoulders back. To watch a little TV. Okay, so head in your hands, relax your shoulders. This is to put the curve back in your neck. just stay there forever, but I think we're gonna have to move on to another exercise. So we're gonna do some leg lifts. Okay, we're gonna lay on our side, right? And I want you to just cradle, your head's gonna be on your arms. I don't want you lifted up when you do this, okay? So we're in a nice straight line, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to, what we call the mouse house. So feel how like your waist kind of just like plops down into the mat. Well, what I want you to do is lift your waist away from your mat. And what happens is that top leg becomes longer than the bottom leg. So notice if you pull it back, your waist goes down. And then when you press it forward, your waist opens up. So we're gonna do some leg lifts. We're gonna lift up and down, and up and down. Now, we're gonna bring them together and we're gonna lift up and down. Now, it's not gonna go as high. We're working those oblique muscles. So you want that core to be braced. And we'll do one more. Good job. Now, we're gonna switch and go to the other side. Comfortable, nice straight line. Now I want you to feel your waist is kind of plopped down into that mat right now. Lift it away. Notice how when you lift it away, it's like that hip bone, I call the as is, right? It presses down towards the bottom of your mat, and then that lifts that waist up. So then we'll do leg lifts. So we'll go up and down. Do a few just like this. We'll do one more, and then we're gonna lift both. So we're gonna try to keep that waist nice and lifted. Notice like my top leg is longer than the bottom leg. So it's just up and down. Those oblique muscles are working. Those are those abs on the sides. And we'll do one more. Good job. All right. So now we're going to come back up to hands and knees. We're going to do a couple more cat-cows here. So exhaling cat, inhaling cow. And then we're going to take our foot back and we're just going to stretch out that calf muscle. Just feel that nice stretch. It feels really good. This is really good for your body. Just push forward and sink back into the heel a little bit. Just a little bit of toe pumping. And we'll do one more. And then we'll switch legs. So take the other foot back. Oh, and a little cracking. This side on me always gives me a good crack in my toes. You just hold that stretch there for a moment. All right, now we're gonna do a downward facing dog. So for those of you that like to use your blocks, okay, we'll bring those blocks out front. If you have blocks, right? Remember, you could use books or something like that that give you a little more elevation. Just make sure they don't slide on your mat. Curl your toes under and then press up. Okay, take a little pedal. Push back with those arms. Okay. Nice pedal. Now drop the back knee down. So we'll stretch out that leg. Now remember, you can use your blanket. So say your knees don't like this, right? You can use your blanket. Maybe you want to keep that back foot curled under and then tuck under your right glute. You can use your blocks also. Right? So if you want, because sometimes you get a little wobbly when you're up here. And you're gonna tuck under that glute so you can feel the stretch in the front of that hip. You can kind of shift forward a little bit as long as you can keep that glute engaged. And then we're going to take our blocks back down. And then we'll lift out of that and come back to our down dog and take another pedal. Just a really nice stretch. Feel the back stretch. Okay, and then we're going to bring that opposite leg up. We're going to drop that knee down. Remember, we can lift off here, or we can use our blocks. And the blocks are good because they have all different heights. So tucking under that glute muscle. You can lean forward a bit if you want a little more stretch. And then bring our blocks back down if we're using our blocks, and we're going to lift that back leg up, and then we'll come back to down dog and taking the pedal. And then we're going to step up to our forward fold. So we're going to step up. Okay, we can use our blocks, and we're just going to be in a nice forward fold. Now remember, we can bend those knees, right? When you straighten the legs, you're going to feel more stretch in the back of your legs. Shake your head out. We're going to inhale halfway up. So extend your spine. Remember, you can keep your knees bent here too. Exhale back down. Shake that head out again. And inhale, slide it up. Remember, your hands can be way up here too. Exhale, take it back down. Now we're going to bend our knees and we're going to reverse our swan dive. So what we're doing is pushing through those feet, sweeping the arms up, inhaling up, and we're going to exhale our hands to our heart center. And then we'll come back into the middle of the mat a little. Well, you guys can stay up at the top if you want to, but we're going to do a little seaweed. And we'll spread those feet apart a little bit, and we'll just let those arms swing. And then we'll bring hands on the shoulders. And then we'll release the arms again. Sorry about the intermittent coughing. And then we'll slowly bring it back to the center, taking a couple of shoulder rolls, going back. Always feels good. Pressing your feet down into your mat, just getting really tall. Okay, really tall. Nice big breath. Now we're going to step our feet wide. Okay, so stepping our feet wide, and then we'll bring those arms out, and then we're going to just pivot. Okay, so that front foot's pointing straight forward. This back foot's kind of like at an angle, about 45 degrees. Okay. So we're going to just push from this back hip. So just think of it as push, 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 and then we'll we'll take it to a reverse warrior. So just a nice lift. You just slide this hand down that leg. And then we'll take it back to warrior two, nice and long. We're gonna straighten out that front leg, and then we'll turn forward again. And then we'll bring hands on the waist. We're gonna take an inhale, and we'll exhale. We're gonna go down into a strap split. So remember, you can use your block here. So think of pigeon-toeing your feet a little bit. We're gonna come down. So come down far enough that you feel the backs of your legs stretch, so block or no block. We're gonna try to get our legs as wide as we can. Okay. Without doing the splits. Okay. Now inhale, extend your spine. And exhale down. Inhale, extend. And exhale down. Inhale, extend. We're going to stay right here. Exhale, bring your heels in one time. We're going to do some little lunges, side to side. Come back to the center here. And we're going to bring toes in and heels in. And we're going to take it to a prayer squat. Remember, if it's hard to get back up here, because we're going to put our forearms on our thighs. Remember, you can always be like this too. Okay. So nice prayer squat. Remember, you can move around a little bit here too. It's like a ninja prayer squat. Huh? And then we'll put hands on the thighs. Let's do some cat-cows. Exhaling cat, inhaling cow, and cat, and cow, and another cat, and cow. And then we'll do some shoulder dips, side to side shoulder dips. We're going to just roll it up. Okay, we're going to do some shoulder rolls. Turn those palms open. Now we're going to do some sunflowers. Inhaling up, exhaling. We're just hinging from the hips. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Inhaling up, exhaling down. So it's my sunflowers. It's sunny today, yay. And then sweeping up, and we're going to do some moonflowers. So those hands are really wide, and then it's like a little plie. Bringing elbows to ribs. Inhale up. Exhale, elbows to ribs. Nice and controlled. We're going to hold this one down here. Then we're just going to pull those shoulders back so that we've got those back muscles working. Should feel really good in the back. Pull your head back a little bit. We don't want the neck jutting out. And then we'll sweep up, inhale up, and we'll exhale our hands to our heart center. And then we'll bring those feet back together. And we'll take a couple shoulder rolls. And move over to this other side here. Remember, if we're doing a down dog, you might want our blocks there. So we'll take a couple shoulder rolls coming back. And we'll inhale, we'll sweep it up. And then we'll exhale. Swan dive, forward fold. Shake that head out again. Should feel really good. We'll take it back to downward dog. just gonna take a nice pedal again. I'm really on a squeaker over here. Nice down dog. And then we're gonna step back up to our forward fold. And then exhale down, inhale, extend the spine, exhale down, inhale, extend, and then exhale down to bend the knees, reverse your swan dive, inhaling up, and just exhaling your hands to your heart center. And then we're gonna step wide, and we're gonna bring those arms out, and then we're gonna turn in the opposite direction here. So we're gonna just push. So think of it, instead of thinking knee pressing, pushing into that knee, I want you to think using that back hip. It's like you're pushing forward with your back hip. It's a little healthier feel for your knee. And then hold that warrior two. Looking out over that middle finger of that front hand. Nice and long with those arms. And then we're gonna inhale, reverse warrior. Big lift, feel it in your ribs. Big lift. Remember, you can look up, you can look forward, whatever works for you. Sometimes looking up makes you want to fall over. So it's totally up to you what you want to do here. And then we'll come back to warrior two. And then we're gonna come back to the center. We'll bring our hands onto our waist. We'll grab that block if we want to use that block. We're gonna hinge down into that forward fold again. That nice straddle split. So nice and wide legs. Shaking the head out. Feel the back of the legs and the inner thighs. Now inhale, extend your spine. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, bring your heels in. Let's do those nice lunges again, side to side. Remember, your hands can be down on the floor too, whatever works for you. Now, toes in, heels in. So we want to have the heels in and the toes out. We're bringing it to a prayer squat. Ninja prayer squat again if you want to, just kind of moving around. Always feels good to move. And then hands on the thighs. Some cat-cows. Exhaling cat. Inhaling cow. Some shoulder dips. And some sunflowers, inhaling up, exhaling down. So you're pushing through those feet up and down. Do two more. And then we'll hold it up, and then we'll do those moonflowers. So elbows to ribs. So it's a big plie. So you're not hinging forward. Inhale up, exhale down. Feel your breath. Always working with that breath. Now hold it down here. We're gonna open up that chest. So feel like it's coming from the shoulder blades. Your shoulder blades are coming closer together. This is your surprised look, right? Sweep up again, inhale up, Good job. All right. So let's do a standing pose. So we'll do a standing tree pose. Okay. That makes sense, a standing tree pose, right? Okay. So we're going to inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale your hands to your heart center. Bring that foot up. Okay, so remember, your foot can be high. It could be right here with your heel on your ankle or on your calf. Find a focal point that's not moving. Shoulder rolls going back. And we'll inhale, sweep up. Exhale your hands to your heart center. Remember, foot can be here, can be here. This is a great place to work at too. So if you're having a hard time with your balance, just coming up. You'll always have that. It's not very far if you need to put your foot down. Shoulder rolls going back. And then we'll inhale, we'll sweep it up, and we'll swan dive, fold, and then we're gonna come on to our cute little tushies. So we're gonna sit nice and tall, and we're gonna do a couple twists. So you could just sit cross-legged, okay, if you choose to. Or remember, sit on a blanket if you have a hard time sitting up straight, okay? Or we could take one leg and cross it over the other leg. So it's up to you what you'd like to do here, okay? We're gonna get really, really tall, and we're gonna take our hand back behind that hip, and we're gonna take an inhale, and what we're gonna do is twist from the belly button. So this is, I want you to fire those core muscles off, and just twisting from the belly button. We're gonna stay really tall. So crown of the head lifts. If you want more twist, you're going to twist from the belly button. And then we're slowly gonna come back. So we can do the same thing. Remember, we can sit like this. Now, if you were seated with your leg crossed a certain way, switch it. Okay, so switch that one leg on top of the other. We always have that one that we're always crossing on top of the other. Okay, so we're gonna, I always do that. Okay, so we're gonna get up nice and tall. We'll take that hand back behind the hip. If you've been in my classes, you know I do that all the time. We're gonna get really, really tall. Take a big inhale. Exhaling, we're twisting from that belly button. You're gonna look, stay really tall. You can look over the shoulder too if that's right for your neck. Release and come back. I'm going to take those legs out front. Remember, this pose, this is just a staff pose, but sometimes it's hard to stay really upright in it. Okay? So you could sit on that blanket. It shifts your pelvis forward. Okay? And sometimes you have really tight hamstrings, so this can help with that. So we're just going to sit really, really tall, and then we're just going to hinge. So you could walk your hands forward, just a little hinge. Notice what your feet are doing. I have this tendency to want to roll my feet like that. So notice what your feet are doing. Make sure they're staying together like that. It's funny the little things that our body compensates. So it's just a little hinge from the hips, just like what we were doing when we were cross-legged. And then we're gonna come back up, nice and upright, and then we're gonna do our boat pose. Okay, so boat pose. We're gonna put our hands at the top of the shins, and I want you to take it and inhale, and exhale, go back. See how you're all rounded, you're on the back side of those sit bones. Now when you inhale, you're gonna lift that chest up, and then you roll, you kind of roll over those sit bones, and then you're gonna lift the feet so you can hold the back of your legs. Okay? You can extend your legs. You can release your arms. There's a lot of places to go when you're in boat pose. So if you start getting too shaky, if your legs start shaking, I call it jackhammer boat, bend your knees. Okay, so just bend your knees. You can feel that belly working. And then I'm gonna make you kind of like a rowing boat or a pedal boat. Pull your knees in a little bit and push up. So you're gonna exhale and inhale, and exhale and inhale. It's just like a little belly massage, right? Do one more. In and then take your legs nice and long, sit up tall. And then what we'll do is we'll come into a butterfly pose. So we're gonna bring those feet together, and those legs are gonna be nice and wide. We're gonna rock off of the booty tissue, as I like to call it, your cute little booty tissue. Roll your shoulders back and down. Okay, so we're really tall. So, I see this in class a lot. I see this kind of stuff. So what I want you to do is roll those shoulders back and down. See if you can get really tall. Really, really tall. And it's a lot of work on your back. Okay, and that's what we're trying. We're firing off those back muscles. It supports your spine on each side of your spine. You're trying to get really tall. Pull that head back. You don't want to jut your neck out either. So real tall. It's a lot of work. And then relax that. And then what we're going to do is lay on our back and have a block around here. I'll lay like this. Have your block around. We're going to hug those legs in to the chest. And then we'll rock. And then we're gonna move into a dead bug pose. So you can grab your toes or the backs of your legs, and you're just pulling down as your feet are kind of pressing up. And I want you to feel that your shoulder blades are on your mat. Okay, so if you're holding your toes, I don't want you lifted like this with the shoulder blades away. I want you to press the shoulder blades in. So they're pressing down. Your knees are like on the outside of your armpits. So it's not a split, okay? It's like a squat. It's like a big squat. Press your tailbone towards the floor. See what happens if I lift my tailbone, right? Now press your tailbone down. Feels terrible lifting the tailbone. Okay, and then bring your feet back together. Okay, we'll do a couple of little twists again, just like we had done earlier. So letting those legs drop over, and your feet can be hip width distance or a little bit wider. Now, we're going to move into a bridge pose. So So let's take our block, we're gonna put it between our legs. Okay, our heels are gonna be pretty close to those sit bones, arms at your sides. Okay, we're gonna lift up into a bridge. So our knees have to keep that block from falling out. So this is gonna make our inner thighs work a little bit harder because they're kind of lazy sometimes. Now, some folks like to interlace their hands, and you can do that. You're welcome to do that. Okay, kind of get you up on the outer edges of your shoulders. You're pressing into your feet. It's just a nice bridge pose. You feel those legs working. And then we'll release the hands if we have them interlace, and then we'll articulate down. So that means just one bone at a time of your spine. So it's really just setting it down nice and slow, going through that flat part and then find your curve again. Okay. Now take your block and we're just gonna do a nice relaxing bridge pose. So we're gonna press up and put that block underneath that tailbone. We'll just stay right here. And if we choose to, we'll take those legs up. A little reverse blood flow for the legs. This energizes. This can really energize your legs. So if you're ever feeling like maybe you were in the car too long or something, you could do this pose. Is really great. Helps get things moving again. It's a great alternative to legs at the wall. Sometimes it's hard to find wall space, or it just doesn't always work out. But if you have a block or a book or something like that, you can elevate those legs up, just getting your hips up. Legs in. We're going to take a little rock. And then we'll take the legs long. And let's do like a big get out of bed stretch. Okay, big stretches, stretch in that whole body. And then bring the arms down at our sides. And we're going to move into final relaxation here. But I am going to come off of camera because I want to read you some guided imagery, and I'm going to get closer to my camera so that you can hear me a little bit better. So let's get completely relaxed. Okay, whatever you need, pillow, blankets. And I'm going to read you a little story that you can follow along with. Comfortable. Make sure your entire body's comfortable. And try not to move around a lot. In any kind of final relaxation, just if you feel, the nose itch or the foot twitch or something like that, just notice that you want to do it and just let it go. Just don't do it. So you want to be really, really still, right? And let's take a few big, deep breaths. Just in and out through that nose. And I want you to picture yourself on a boat approaching a beautiful island. And the water is crystal clear. And you can see beautiful colored fish swimming through the water. Seagulls are flying alongside of the boat. And you feel the ocean spray on your face and the warmth of the sun from above. As you approach the island, you see beautiful, lush green hills and mountains. And the boat drifts up on the beach, and you step out barefoot into the warm sand. You hear the sound of the ocean behind you and the ocean breeze rustling the leaves of the trees in front of you. And the birds are singing as you walk towards a path leading into the lush tropical foliage. And as you walk up the path, you hear the sound of falling water. And as you walk closer, you see a beautiful waterfall flowing into a natural pool of water. It's so inviting, you can't help but enter the pool and feel the coolness of the beautiful clear water. As you look around, you see beautiful tropical flowers surrounding the entire area. You can smell their sweet fragrance. And you see colorful birds flying from tree to tree. And as you step out of the pool, you see a smooth spot of sand at the side of the pool. And you lay upon a soft towel that you brought with you. You feel the warmth of the sun rays dry the water from your skin. And you look up and see a beautiful blue sky with the trees surrounding it. This is the most beautiful place you've ever seen. You have never felt so comfortable. And you have never felt so relaxed. And you continue drifting in this peaceful state of calmness and relaxation. Know that this is your special place that you can return to again and again as often as you like. And when you're ready, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, letting the feelings of calmness, comfort, and rejuvenation return with you as you begin to awaken. And when you're ready, you can roll over to your side. Again, when you're ready, you can slowly press up to seated. And we'll slowly take some spinal circles, just going in one direction. And move in the opposite direction. Follow it with a long, slow exhale. And on the next inhale, we'll sweep those hands up. Bring our hands to our heart center. Namaste. All right. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. So it was great teaching to you today, and I hope to have more videos coming out soon. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. So take care, everybody, and I hope to see you all soon. Okay, have a great day. Bye.